To the United States, Donald Trump has won the New Hampshire Republican presidential primary. He beat former United Nations Ambassador Nikki Haley.
So it is Trump's second victory after winning the Iowa caucus last week, and it cemented his position, really, as the front-runner. Here's what Trump had to say overnight.
You know, we won New Hampshire 3 times now, three. We win it every time. We win the primary, we win the generals, we've won it, and it's a very, very special place to me. It's very important.
Very important, very special. To tell us how important and how special, Ray Addison, the GB News reporter here, and former advisor to the Bank of England, Roger Gewolb. Thanks, nice to see you both here. Ray, how special was Iowa too? It wasn't Iowa, or was it last night? New Hampshire.
Yeah, it was a big result, and Donald Trump is absolutely furious that Nikki Haley has not followed the script as he would like her to do it and concede. She came up pretty quick, within about an hour of the polls closing. About 20% of the vote had been counted at that stage, and Trump was ahead. And you know, she sort of suddenly came on stage and started to make a speech. People thought, oh no, she's gonna step out.
But she didn't.
No, she wants to fight on, and she's doubling down. You know, and
But to what purpose, Ray? I mean, she's going nowhere, really.
Well, I mean, some people believe that. However, she didn't lose as convincingly as some might say. I think still all the votes need to be counted, but Trump's on about 55% of the vote. She's on about 43%. Okay, it's double figures. But I think some people thought that she was going to really, really struggle. She has picked up 8 delegates from this as well, versus Trump's 11. So if you look at it in terms of just purely in terms of delegates, that's not too bad.
But I suppose New Hampshire is a bit of an odd one when it comes to the primaries compared to some of the others. It usually is a bit more liberal, open-minded, a few more independent voters. And she was always going to do well if she was going to do anywhere in New Hampshire. The question is what's going to happen on Super Tuesday. But the extra complication on Super Tuesday is just days before President Trump's in court for one of his many indictments, and that will not play well to the sort of ultra-conservative wing of the Republicans, will it?
Definitely. It's scheduled to be in court just the day before Super Tuesday. 16 states up for grabs, but South Carolina first in about a month. If she wins South Carolina, although Trump is still polling ahead of her, that could be a big difference. And all of these court cases, anything could happen in terms of, you know, obviously there's about 10% of the party that are currently voting for Trump that would say they would turn against him if he was to get any convictions. There's not going to be any convictions before Super Tuesday, but in terms of the evidence that starts coming out, we know that anything could happen at any time.
Roger, how does the Democratic Party choose their candidate? Is it the same process as we're seeing here with the Republicans? And I suppose what I'm getting at is who eventually is going to stand up and say, Joe, let's not bother with this?
It's a point that you get credit for. You've made it a few times when you've said, you know, why am I not seeing somebody besides old Joe? If he, God forbid, fell down the stairs or just forgot what was going, or forgot, or forgot what was going on. There's nobody there, as you have pointed out. Now, the thing is, it's funny that so many people have tried to get Trump, pardon me, kicked off the ballot in New Hampshire, Minnesota, all these different states, and yet old Joe managed to get himself kicked off the ballot in New Hampshire. Basically, New Hampshire law says they have to hold the first primary. Joe and the Democratic National Committee insisted that that go to South Carolina. New Hampshire wasn't wearing it, therefore it broke the regulations of the Democratic Committee, therefore Biden wasn't on the ballot. So a huge movement of Democrats wrote him in and he won. So where does that leave Dean Phillips and Marianne Williamson, the 2 contenders, if they can't even win in a primary election where the winner wasn't even on the ballot? What chance have they got?
Can I ask you this? I mean, it looks as though the writing's on the wall now that Trump will get the Republican nomination. Does that mean, though, do you think, that he will win the election? Because, I mean, we're hearing people like Amy Takarian, we spoke to earlier in the programme, a Republican herself. She just simply can't vote for him. Yesterday on the channel, we had the mooch on, Anthony Scaramucci. Now, there's no love lost between those two. We know the story there. But he's saying he would vote for Biden ahead of Trump.
Well, I mean, a lot of people that you would think would support Trump say they would vote for Biden. I don't know. As I say to them, I really don't get it. You support this, you support that, and then you're going to go vote for Biden. Why would you do that? But I think the real issue is I would be saying to you today that I'm going to make a prediction that Nikki Haley is going to drop out before the South Carolina primary.
Really?
But for the fact of these trials. And I would say that because if you were a donor with a checkbook, would you be writing checks today to back this candidate? I don't think so. But I think and probably she can convince her donors to wait and see if anything happens at that hearing the day before. But the thing is this, as I've said many times, these are criminal charges. They have to be proved beyond a reasonable doubt. There is enough evidence floating around that exactly like the Horizon post office scandal, those voting machines had some questions around them, other issues, etc. I don't think a jury can I think this is all a stage show to disable Trump. I don't think those juries, unless they are in a major big Democratic city with a jury that's not impartial, is going to be able to convict him of anything.
It's going to be fascinating and absolutely mind-blowing to us over here how the role of the judiciary and all of this comes into it. Really interesting to talk to you, Roger, and thanks for that as well, Ray Addison.
Thank you both. Thank you.